Hey guys, today I want to share 3 fun frozen summer treats with you guys. We have a little bit of everything. We have some chocolate, strawberry, and lemon. So hopefully you'll enjoy one of these. Now these recipes are super easy to make, you guys, and they'll keep you nice and cool on these hot summer days. So the first thing we're going to make is a Nutella crunch ice cream cake. Now for this recipe, you're going to need some Nutella, of course. You're also going to need some Rice Krispies cereal. And then you're going to need a gallon of ice cream. I'm using vanilla, but you can use whatever flavor you want. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to warm up our Nutella in a large pot. We're just warming our Nutella, getting it nice and loose so it's easier to mix the cereal in. So make sure you have it over low heat. Next, we're going to add in our cereal. And we're just going to mix this until the cereal is fully coated with the Nutella. Now here I have a cookie sheet and I've added some parchment paper on top. I'm just going to go ahead and spread this out as thin as possible on here. Now you want to make sure you get it as thin as possible because it makes it easier when it's time to break this apart again. And then you're going to stick this in the freezer for a few hours to set. You want it to get nice and hard. Now once it's set, you're just going to take a knife and cut it up into bite-sized pieces. Now you can try to use your hands to crumble it up, but that body heat is just going to melt that Nutella and you're going to have a big mess. So just take a knife and chop away until you chop it up into bite-sized pieces. After you're done chopping it up, you probably will have to stick it back in the freezer just for a few minutes so it can set again. But then you have your Nutella crunch. Now I could stick my face in this bowl and just go to town, y'all. So here I have a large bowl that I stuck in the freezer to get it nice and cold. And I'm gonna go ahead and add in my softened ice cream. I let my ice cream sit on my counter for a few minutes just to soften it up a bit. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my Nutella crunch. You do want to save 2 cups of your Nutella crunch and set it aside because that's going to be the topping for the ice cream cake, but the rest just mix in completely with the ice cream. Now the type of pan we're using to set this ice cream cake is a spring form pan. I think I'm saying that right. It just makes it a lot easier to get the ice cream cake out. So you do want to use that type of pan. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your ice cream and you're going to pack it off in this pan. You want to make sure you pack it well because you don't want any air bubbles or air pockets. I did have an air pocket, and what happened was when I cut the cake, it kind of crumbled in that area. It just kind of like fell apart. So make sure you pack it down well. And then we're just going to go ahead and smooth out the top. And the last thing we're going to do is just take the rest of that Nutella crunch and add it to the top. Now you just want to go ahead and cover this up and stick it in your freezer. You want to I let mine set overnight, but you want to give it a few hours so it can get nice and firm. This is a Nestle's Crunch Bar mixed with a Ferrero Rocher ice cream. Like, it is so good. Ferrero Rochers are one of my favorite candies, so I loved it. Y'all, this is for my chocolate lovers. So the second recipe we're going to make is a frozen Strawberry Cheesecake Crunch. Now for that, you're going to need some graham cracker crumbs. You're going to need some condensed sweetened condensed milk. You're also going to need some sugar, a little bit of vanilla, room temp cream cheese. Back here we have some powdered sugar, heavy whipping cream, You're also going to need some butter. Mine isn't melted right here, but you will need to melt it. You're going to need some diced strawberries. And you'll also need some strawberry puree, which you just take some strawberries and you throw them in the blender or in your food processor. And then a few strawberries for garnish. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our sugar and we're going to mix it in with our graham cracker crumbs. And then we're going to go ahead and add in our melted butter. And then you want to mix this well. Now you'll probably do better using a fork. I was just too lazy to get a fork, so I used my spatula. But you do want to make sure all the butter is absorbed in these crumbs. You want it to be nice and crumbly. Here I have my 9 by 13 baking dish that I've sprayed with a little bit of nonstick cooking spray. We're going to take half of our crumb mixture and we're going to spread it out in the bottom of this baking dish. You want to get it nice and even. Now for the filling, you're going to take your room temp cream cheese, your powdered sugar, and you're going to mix it until it's nice and smooth. Next, we're going to add in our vanilla and our sweetened condensed milk. And then we're going to go ahead and mix that until it's nice and smooth. And then we're going to mix in our strawberry puree. Now once everything is mixed together, we're going to go ahead and set that aside. So I'm going to go ahead and add my heavy whipping cream to my stand mixer. The bowl I sat in the freezer to get nice and cold. Go ahead and whip this up until it's nice and fluffy. And then we're going to fold this into our strawberry mixture. Next, we're going to take those diced strawberries and fold them in. Next, we're going to add that mixture on top of the crumbs. And then we're going to top it with the rest of our crumbs. You want to make sure you cover it fully. Well, if you're someone like me, I enjoy the crumbs, so I added a little extra. But now we're just going to go ahead and cover this up and stick it in the freezer to set. And when it's done, you guys, this one right here is my favorite. I'm a chocoholic, but this one I chose over the Nutella crunch cake. This is so good. It's so creamy. It's just like frozen strawberry cheesecake. So good, you guys. So the last thing we're going to make, you guys, is super easy. We're going to make some lemon sorbet. And to do that, you're going to take some sugar and water. And you're going to let that warm up over a medium heat just until the sugar dissolves. Now you're going to remove it from the heat and we're going to add in some lemon juice, some fresh squeezed lemon juice. With just a pinch of salt. And then we're going to mix this well. Now you do want to cover this up and you want to refrigerate it for a few hours up to overnight. I let mine sit in overnight. Now you don't have to have an ice cream maker to make this. If you don't, you can just stick it in a container, put it in the freezer, and every couple of hours, stir it up, stick it back in the freezer. You want to do that a few times every couple of hours. But if you have an ice cream maker, it's going to be easy. Just pour it in your ice cream maker, add your ice, your salt, let it go for about 20 to 25 minutes. Then stick your whole container in the freezer so it can set. This lemon sorbet is everything. Of course, when you first taste it, it's going to make you pucker up, but it is so refreshing, so smooth, so satisfying, you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy one of these delicious frozen treats, and I will see you in the next video. Yum.